entrance.
Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about the Universal Soldier Multiverse. So of course, Universal Soldier initially came out in 1992. It was a blockbuster, one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's best, but there's three different timelines. There's actually a straight-to-video timeline, there's the return timeline, here's a special copy signed by Michael Jai White, by the way, and then there's the ultra-violent timeline. So we're basically going to make sense of all of that. And I got to give a special shout out and thanks to Peter. He did the research, he put the script together for me, so this video was easier to make, definitely helped. But make sure to check him out on Instagram, Nadadojo, Nadadojo. I'll link it in the description below. And please help support the channel because these videos do take a long time to put together, a long time to edit. You could help by hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing the video to help get it out there. Alright, let's start at the beginning. The DTV direct-to-video timeline. Of course, it still starts with the original theatrical film from 1992, Universal Soldier. That was directed by Roland Emmerich. Universal Soldier is a story of Luke Devereaux, played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, and his psychopathic rival Andrew Scott, played by Dolph Lundgren. While serving in Vietnam, Scott sadistically attacks villagers. Devereaux intervenes and the two soldiers end up fighting to the death. Decades later, the two soldiers return to life following a secret military project called the Universal Soldier Program. Their memories are erased and they become the perfect soldier and killing machine. On a present-day mission, Devereaux begins to gain consciousness while Scott resumes his ruthless behavior. They are assigned to kill Veronica Roberts, a TV journalist played by Ali Walker. Devereaux escapes with Roberts and the two are pursued by Scott and his team of Universal Soldiers. In the end, Devereaux and Scott have a fight-to-the-death rematch with Devereaux standing tall. On a side note, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren came up with a clever way to promote the film. The Universal Soldier rivalry was recreated at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah. Okay, the movie was complete but not cut yet, right?
Right.
So I was in Cannes with Dolph. So I called his room and said, Dolph, we have a problem. We're here, we have no movie to show up. What about you and I having a friction on the, on the steps of the red carpet in Cannes Festival? So he said, yeah, that's a good idea. So we push around each other, and then we made all the news in Cannes.
So you set that up?
Yeah, I'm a businessman.
Following Universal Soldier, in the direct-to-video timeline came two movies produced by Regal Entertainment and are set in a standalone continuity loosely based on the original film. First, in 1998 came Universal Soldier 2: Brothers in Arms. None of the original actors returned for this direct-to-video sequel. Luke Devereaux is now played by Matt Battaglia and Veronica Roberts is replaced by Chandra West. Burt Reynolds joins the cast as Mentor, a CIA director. Gary Busey also joins in on the fun. The film's tagline is, "No memory, no emotion, no mercy," until one of them decides to become human again. As far as the synopsis goes, the Universal Soldier budget has been cut by the government. Of course, the budget for this film in comparison to its predecessor has also been drastically cut. Anyway, the CIA takes over and allows a gang of mercenaries to use Universal Soldiers to smuggle diamonds to the highest bidder. The Unisol controllers activate a homing beacon inside Luke Devereaux's body to lure him out of hiding, causing him to travel to the Unisol base and have his memory reprogrammed. Veronica rescues Luke and discovers that Luke's dead brother Eric has also been resurrected. Also in 1998, Universal Soldier 3: Unfinished Business was produced as well, with the tagline, "Back in action and deadlier than ever." In this one, Luke and Veronica travel to Canada to expose the Universal Soldiers. After a hostage situation, Luke and Veronica become fugitives. Mentor, again played by Burt Reynolds, and his team create a powerful Unisol clone of Luke's brother Eric to assassinate the fugitives. The two films were produced for Showtime as a miniseries meant as a backdoor pilot for a TV series. Unfortunately, the series never happened, so that concludes the Universal Soldier direct-to-video saga. Now we're going to talk about an alternate timeline. But first, let's go back to the beginning. Hey Jean-Claude, can you do a quick recap of Universal Soldier?
Now imagine those perfect soldier, the ultimate Universal Soldier. And very strong physically, mentally, everything is perfect. And they use those guys for a special mission. And something go wrong. And two guys, they wake up from flashback because they died many years ago. And you have the evil guy who's Dolph. And the good guy, the small guy, who's Van Damme. And it's like a long chase, lots of action, science fiction, hardware. Great story, lots of action and also comedy.
Okay, so let's discuss the return timeline. In 1999, Universal Soldier The Return was released, directed by Mick Rogers. It hit theaters in August of 1999. Michael Jai White returned to the cast. MJW briefly appeared in the first movie. He said, "I was chopped down to basically one line in the beginning of the movie. I was not going to tell Jean-Claude that we worked together in the first one, but he remembered." Professional wrestler Bill Goldberg also appears in the film. Van Damme said about Goldberg, "He's a big guy. When I see him wrestling, I'm amazed. In the ring, these guys are slapping each other down hard to make the snap, and that's some incredible control." On a fun side note, in 1999, Van Damme along with Chuck Norris briefly appeared in WCW along with Goldberg. As far as the synopsis for Universal Soldier The Return goes, Luke Devereaux has returned to a normal life. He works for the government as a technical expert and assists with the Universal Soldier program. Luke and his partner Maggie, played by fitness buff Kiana Tom, work with an AI called Seth, S-E-T-H, Self-Evolving Thought Helix, to improve the soldiers. Unfortunately, budget cuts hit the Universal Soldier program, which seems like a common theme in these films. Much like HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey, Seth doesn't believe in shutting down either and betrays his colleagues. He programs himself into the unnamed soldier played by Michael Jai White. Seth and Romeo, played by Goldberg, wreak havoc, and along the way several people die and Luke's daughter is kidnapped by Seth. With the help of Maggie, Luke defeats the army of evil soldiers and escapes with his daughter, but not before laying the smackdown on Bill Goldberg and MJW. Universal Soldier The Return was also meant to be a return for Van Damme and bring his career back to prominence after a string of box office disappointments such as Double Team and Knockoff. Make sure to check out the videos I did breaking those down, linked in the description below. Unfortunately, Universal Soldier The Return ended up becoming a box office dud as well, grossing just over $10 million on an estimated $45 million budget. I still remember seeing it in the theater, and I wasn't the only one that was disappointed. The audience clearly wasn't enthused, and I even remember a heckler making some negative remarks, and the theater seemed to agree with his sentiment. The film was directed by Mick Rogers, who previously worked as a stunt coordinator, with Universal Soldier The Return being his first and last film that he directed. He will continue to work in the stunt world for another 2 decades though. So, because of the poor box office performance of Universal Soldier The Return, obviously this ended that timeline. Alright, so next we're going to talk about the ultra-violent timeline. But first, going back to 1992, Universal Soldier. Hey Jean-Claude, can you do one more quick recap?
Yeah, it's my first big movie. Big budget movie with a different look, like you say, with some science fiction add to it, and also some comedy and the action.
2009 would see the release of Universal Soldier Regeneration. Directed by John Hyams, MMA fighters Andrei Arlovsky and Mike Pyle joined Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren in the film. As far as the story goes, terrorists kidnap the Ukraine Prime Minister's family and demands the release of their imprisoned comrades. They threaten to detonate a bomb if their demands are not met. A next-generation Unisol, aka NGU, played by Arlovsky, is working with the terrorists and protecting them. The Prime Minister agrees with the demands, however the terrorist victory is short-lived as Andrew Scott, Dolph Lundgren, shows up and kills them all. In typical fashion, Scott reactivates the bomb and looks for the missing hostages for a new ransom. Captain Kevin Burke, played by Mike Pyle, and Luke Devereaux, played by Van Damme, are sent to save the hostages. Burke tries to rescue the Prime Minister's family but is killed by the NGU. Luke fights with Scott and defeats him with a gruesome shotgun blast to the head. Luke saves the day by using the terrorist bomb on NGU and rescuing the hostages. Captain Burke's body is later shown stored in a cryogenic chamber and becoming a new Universal Soldier. This film marked the first time Peter Hyams has acted as cinematographer without also directing. He previously worked with Van Damme in Time Cop as director and cinematographer. In Universal Soldier Regeneration, his son, John Hyams, acted as director. Speaking of sons, Van Damme's son Chris Van Damme appears in this film as well as its follow-up. This film also marks the reunion of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren to the Universal Soldier franchise, with the fitting tagline, "Reanimated, Rearmed, the Ultimate Rematch." Following this timeline, 2012 would see Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning, also known as A New Dimension. In an interview with Collider, director John Hyams said, "Day of Reckoning is either the 3rd, 4th, or 6th film in the franchise, depending on if you include the pair of non-canon direct-to-television sequels and or the totally retconned Universal Soldier The Return." In this one, John, played by Scott Adkins, awakens from a coma to learn that his family was brutally murdered in a home invasion. John learns the attacker was Luke Devereaux. Over time, he learns that Devereaux, played by Van Damme, Scott, played by Dolph Lundgren, and Magnus, played by Orlovsky, have created a team of Universal Soldiers free of government command. John defeats Scott and Magnus, but can't find Devereaux. However, John learns he is not who he thinks he is. John has been implanted with fake memories and is actually a Universal Soldier clone on a mission to kill Luke Devereaux. John confronts Luke about everything that happened. The two engage in combat. John defeats Luke and becomes the new leader of the Universal Soldier Resistance Army. Jean-Claude Van Damme reportedly had trouble with the long-winded and exaggerated choreography in the final fight with Scott Adkins, saying, "People don't fight like this." Adkins, for his part, stated in an interview that he moved slower than he normally would to accommodate Van Damme, who is used to a more deliberate style of movie fighting than the Hong Kong style Adkins is known for. Adkins was also apparently suffering from a torn ligament during filming of the scene, which impaired his mobility. Now, I personally prefer Van Damme's movie fight style over Adkins. Check out my video, Van Damme Best On-Screen Fighter Ever, to find out why. Also, reportedly, Jean-Claude Van Damme did not like that his character would be killed by Scott Adkins in the final fight and was only persuaded to do the scene as written the day before principal photography began. Director John Hyams admitted there was a lot of negotiation around how that all played out and cited it as an example of Van Damme passing the torch. So that was back in 2012, but we never did get another Universal Soldier film since. However, rumor has it there is another reboot in development. But what are your thoughts on the Universal Soldier timeline? Which film is your favorite? Leave a comment below and let me know.